Let us see some of the images of the ultrasound. In this image, we can see uterus on the left side, vagina on the right side, and there is bladder. This is a transabdominal picture which is done to visualize the uterus. You can see that the myometrium is a homogeneous structure and the hollow arrow points at the endometrium. The solid arrow on the right side points at the vagina. In this picture, we can measure the uterus, longitudinal length, anteroposterior diameter and transverse diameter. Now, the endometrial thickness also can be measured, which is very important. In normally menstruating woman, the endometrial thickness is not more than 1.4 centimeters, whereas in postmenopausal woman it is not more than 4 millimeters. There is a translucent area next to the endometrium, that is the innermost layer of myometrium, which is normally present. But whenever there is endometrial carcinoma which is invading the myometrium, this translucent area will disappear. We can make out whether the uterus is retroverted or anteverted, or whether it is retroflexed or anteflexed. Now this is a picture of the uterus obtained during the secretory phase of menstrual cycle. This shows a thick echogenic endometrium. During proliferative phase, the endometrium is thin, whereas post-ovulatory, under the influence of progesterone on the estrogen primed endometrium, it becomes thick. The thickness of endometrium, as I already mentioned, is not more than 1.4 centimeter in premenopausal woman and not more than 4 millimeter in postmenopausal woman. Next, we can visualize ovaries. Ovaries are oval structures lying in relation with the internal iliac vessels on the pelvic side walls. They are less echogenic than the uterus and they contain variable number of follicles. Visualization ovary becomes very important in certain conditions like PCOS or in infertility, or in case we are suspecting some ovarian tumor. The normal volume of the ovary in a menstruating woman is not more than 7.5 ml, whereas in a postmenopausal woman it is not more than 3 ml. We often do a serial ultrasound to observe the ovulatory cycle, and in infertility patient we also do ovarian visualization on day 2 of the menstrual cycle to know the antral follicle count, to know the ovarian reserve. At the start of the follicular phase, number of follicles start growing, but between day 8 and 10, one follicle becomes dominant and starts growing very fast at the rate of 2 to 3 millimeter per day. This is a follicle which is designed to become a Graafian follicle, and the ovum in this will mature and will become fit for fertilization after ovulation. At the mid-cycle, at the ovulatory time, it becomes about 18 to 25 millimeters and it can rupture, and after rupture of this follicle the ovum is discharged and what remains of the follicle gets converted into corpus luteum. The corpus luteum gets good vascular supply and it starts producing progesterone. This progesterone of the secretory phase is very important to maintain a pregnancy in case there is fertilization. If this progesterone is less because of luteal phase defect of the corpus luteum, the pregnancy cannot sustain and it may result in miscarriage, which the woman may not even know because she may think it is a late menstruation. This image shows a color Doppler of corpus luteum, which shows abundant flow of blood to this corpus luteum, which is quite normal. Another images which we find out is to diagnose congenital malformation of genital organs. You can see there are various types of congenital malformations which can be identified on ultrasound. In the box 1, we can see that malformation of hypoplasia or aplasia of genital organs, what kind of images can be formed. The 1A shows vaginal hypoplasia, whereas uterus and cervix is developed with the tubes also normally developed. In the box B, it shows hypoplasia of the cervix. Tubes are normal. The C shows the fundal hypoplasia, whereas in the picture D there are no tubes present, and E is combined. In the box 2, it shows a unicornuate uterus where only one horn of the uterus has developed normally, whereas the other horn is not developed normally. The other horn may or may not have the cavity, which may or may not be communicating with the other horn. You can see that in the picture 2A, there is a horn which is communicating to the main horn. The second B is the horn which has cavity but not communicating with the well developed horn of the uterus. Whereas in the C, the horn doesn't have cavity at all, and picture D is showing no horn, it's only single horn which is developed.